I'm just like looking at this from SBTC. It's great that we're obviously fighting for third place. This should be, I think, a kind of a taste test for what we'll see coming into this series, because obviously it's game one, but we need to see a strong showing from SBTC for, I think, a lot of the fans to regain some of the faith here for this team.
Tournament lives are on the line right now as SBTC and TSM take to the Rift in game number one of this best of three series. When we look at these kinds of compositions, Alk, I want to set expectations. I want to set kind of a framework of where specific champions spike, and more specifically where team compositions spike. So if you're looking at these two teams, who's favored in the early game here?
In the early game, I would like to say that TSM have a lot of great ways to play around solo lanes. Obviously, THANKYOU gets set up. Lulu is not going to have as much priority in the mid lane, but because it is a melee ranged matchup, there's going to be inherent some ability to poke. And in top lane, it's the first early levels. Renekton can try to do something, but after a few, Sunny should be able to just run over this Renekton.
And actually, it's Sunny getting the better of that trade. Already gets flash at Yanero.
The Ignite was popped incredibly early here from Yanero, so another bad trade, something that we've seen time and time again, Yanero being taken advantage of by other Baron laners, and has been a way that other teams have found success being able to play. I think specifically the KT game, or the Rolster game, where we saw Rattel just have a massive pop-off performance.
And now Sunny trying to emulate a little bit of that here. Can try and shove this wave in as Yanero did not get a back off. Now is looking to walk in very far back. You're giving a lot of respect to the fact that Tetis was on the top side of the map here. We did see Tetis go into the mid lane, help push out that wave. Mike gave some farm over there, but it hasn't really accelerated the Olaf too early, as now TF, knowing that Tetis is on the top side of the map, we got a little bit of counter.
They're just gonna die. They're just gonna go for it.
No wave though. This is aggressive. Yanero, he doesn't have summoner spells, but he's got the health bar, and Tetis goes down.
Okay, and Mikey just has to blow the flash. He knows that the Diana's coming over the wall, so TSM, they go incredibly aggressive. I don't know how well they were coordinating the wave, but that is a massive mistake in the early game for them.
That is tragic for TSM, because the entire time, TF on the Nunu is on the opposite jungle, just taking camps away. Wasn't even needed to stop that gank, so TSM give over first blood. But now, Yanero earned that one in the 1v1, gets another kill.
Okay, and Yanero is trying to put his stamp on this game. He survives the dive. Sunny's not able to land any of the broken wing combo. And TSM back-to-back mistakes coming in the top side. Yanero with, I think, one of the only leads we've seen from him throughout the tournament. This is an early gold deficit that TSM find themselves in, and SBTC are gifted in early game.
And it is a sizable gold differential as well. That is a Black Cleaver completed before 3 minutes here for Yanero. This Renekton very accelerated right now, and we were talking about that matchup and how important it would be for Sunny. Now you can be playing on the back foot for probably the next couple minutes here, hoping that your team can bail you out. Maybe this Lulu can get around the map with the Olaf again and look for another play, but at the same time, like, that's scary. Like, you might just want to play away from this Renekton at this point.
Yeah, and when we're looking at this tournament, right, it has been the talk of the Baron laners. How well can you play around the Baron lane so you can get those Rift Heralds, so that you can rotate into this objective? We've seen other players here. They're going for it. They're going to go for it.
Carlito's coming up here, saying, I got your back, misses. Flash Bulb Rise with the headbutt into the wall. Yanero should fall here.
That's one.
Turn one. Sunny almost going down, but now the dive in the bottom lane. SBTC see their opportunity to answer the play, and they will make it a 1-for-1.
Smile and wave, boys. When they overload one side of the map, SBTC, correctly so, play on the opposite side. That has been something that we've been able to see in the regional differences between these two. The East has been really good at being able to answer on the map, make those side lane plays, trade for objectives, and the West really hasn't been able to adapt to that, and that's what I was looking forward to, hopefully here. Rift Herald being taken, they're going to trade for objectives.
That's the interesting thing to note here, Al, because we were just talking about the importance of the strength that this Renekton provides around the Rift Herald, but because of this timer, TSM actually get the Rift Herald for themselves. They also shut down Renekton, but that's a steep cost because Dragon goes down as well as the turret for SBTC.
Yes, important also to note there is during those trades, when we saw that from Yanero and Sunny, actually, it looks like we're going to get that coming in. It's the max .1 effective. But I kind of wanted to see what happened here. Looks like they just called in a wave.
That's an engage from Akino. That's the the coveted Janna aggressive ultimate right there. You're not going to see those that often.
You know who also did that? Hamez on the Team Secret roster. He's obviously the general over there, and he was making very similar plays. So the SCA region kind of holding hands, locking arms, and walking in with Janna has wanted to play incredibly aggressively.
Hey, the flash ult engage from Janna, I think every support needs to learn.
I do not need that. Please do not emulate it in these solo games.
I know you do it with
Smack.
If he's listening right now, he's on the analyst desk. Try it out sometime.
Please do not.
Bringing us back in, though, SBTC making a play into the top side of the map. Sunny sees this happening and backs all the way off. This could be big for TSM now as they can dive Yanero, drop this Herald, but I don't think they'll get this turret.
They might just continue this dive. There's no Dominus. There is a Rift Herald, which should take this pretty low. But they're going to reset, they're going to leave this, and take a look across the map here, Kangas. SBTC are fighting in the mid lane. They want to try and grab this, and if they can't, they can move into this top side and start to take away camps. Get a lot of gold here for Julie.
Julie gets this turret. There's nobody here from TSM to answer. Again, SBTC just ahead of these rotational plays. Anytime they see multiple members of TSM somewhere, they overload the opposite side of the map, and they're consistently getting more.
SBTC, one thing that we also saw at the beginning of this game that we didn't quite note was the ability for mid lane to move. Now, Mikey has obviously been the first one to say, I'm dropping this wave, I'm moving with Tethys either to the Baron lane or to the bot lane. We're going to look for something. But Julie has kind of stayed stalwart, right? It forced the early flash wave from Mikey on that dive. And that just means now he's getting a lot of concentrated gold into this Diana.
But on the opposite side, TSM are putting their gold into Tethys. The Olaf here gets that solo turret on the bottom side. Very far, or maybe not very far, but ahead of TF in the jungle world right there. This Olaf's going to need to put in work, though, and we haven't quite seen TSM get their full combination together where they have the Lulu backing up the Olaf to run in towards these scrappy objective fights. They really only pulled off that one play in the top lane when Yanero was over push. So I'm waiting. What's TSM's going to move?
This feels a little weird, right, Kangas? TSM have put themselves on a timer here, and Olaf is not the farming jungler that we've seen other teams find when we're talking about those jungle carries, right? We're talking about Fiora, Riven, Jax as well, Graves, like you just said. Olaf can farm pretty efficiently and pretty fast. When you look at Nunu, you've got the consume, you do it incredibly quickly. It's not a jungler that I assume with trying to fast farm the jungle via carry is Julie, let's see what you can do.
Headbutt, pulverize, nicely set up by Carlito, but Julia actually dancing around this with the Moonfall and the Flash, but falls regardless. TSM, that tanky Alistar can tank turret for so long, and they finally get a play.
Important there for Julie. He clears the wave, which means that now TSM, they miss out on a timer to take a top tier 1. And this means that now SBTC, playing on the opposite side of the map like we've noted, they now have access to an inhibitor turret.
My goodness, every single time. TSM's on 3 members to take down Julie, and Julie just buys so much time for the rest of SBTC that they get that tier 2. And like you said, there's an inhibitor turret available now. If SBTC win a big fight at Dragon with their wave already pushed, I mean, that's already like getting to game end situation here at 8 minutes in. They don't have a massive goal lead, but just where the map state currently is, with this Dragon spawning in 10 seconds here, things are looking dicey for TSM.
This mid-tier 1 for TSM is going to be the lifeblood for this game. If they can control this mid-tier 1, they can still have access into the river, but as soon as they lose that, with the way that the bot lane is kind of structured right now, this Dragon might just be where TSM tries to call their shot for the game. If they can't get this, there's another Rift Herald, and they haven't shown a big inclination so far on the horizon to go for this.
They got all 5 members grouped. They have priority in the mid lane, but they've lost it in the bottom lane. Again, I keep looking at that one. Julie goes down there and just shoves it out, and SBTC are playing so patiently. They're not committing to this Dragon yet because they're respecting the engage potential of this Alistar, and instead say, look, we're going to wait till somebody's split off from the rest of the team and then go for it. But maybe waiting a little too long. I mean, you could still just look for this Rift Herald instead. So SBTC, this is, I guess, kind of the negative side of their comp, is they don't necessarily have a massive engage tool of their own. This is what like the Janna Ezreal is good about. It's kiting away from the enemy's engage.
Thankfully, because they're ahead, they don't actually need to do anything. This is a losing play for TSM, where if they can't do anything, if they can't find an engage, SBTC will just choke them out. So here, they just have to go for this. TSM have to commit. Carlito!
You gotta look for Julie on the flank here. Carlito goes forward. The rest of TSM just trying to bulldoze their way through TF, but Julie's on the flank with the Moonfall on the carries! And as well, Yanero joins in. SBTC, they had the setup for the fight, they had the patience, and a double kill to Yanero. Give him the triple as well. doesn't even fall to the turret. SBTC dominate the fight.
Yanero says, I'm not Minas, and that doesn't matter. I'm good enough to hold my own here in the Horizon Cup. Finds a triple kill and helps his team to an early victory here. It's 10 minutes, but SBTC, they got a massive team fight victory. They got the tier 1 turret in mid lane, and now TSM, they're gonna have to scramble for some kind of cheat code to get back in.
Yeah, they are so far behind. It was pretty even up until that point. I believe there were only 2, maybe 3K behind. And you look at the engage of Carlito, but again, the Ezreal just shifts away.
Yep. Kirall completely untouched, and it's the team fights that brought this team to the Horizon Cup in their own region. It was Kirall having fantastic positioning and that maxing out on DPS. We get to see here playing right on the edge of danger for SBTC, and TSM whimper away from the fight. They lose the Drake. They're also going to now lose this Herald. And this is signs of that SBTC that people were expecting coming into this tournament.
It's a different look from what I expected when I was doing prep with other analysts, with other casters. I heard SBTC, they'll fight you, they'll be aggressive. This isn't necessarily that same look. It, again, is very much, we want you to engage into us, and then we're going to outplay you with things like the Ezreal, things like the Janna, but it's working. It seems like SBTC have found the style, finally, that can get them wins at the Horizon Cup.
And Smacks also pointed it out on the desk, right? It's that Ezreal being unable to engage, and with so little tools to really lock down this champion, being far behind doesn't give you many luxuries in being able to kind of play it back, play it safe. Now they need to just look for flash engages, so watch for key summoner spells. Once they start to come up for TSM, those are the miracle Hail Marys that they're going to have to look for.
It's going to be off of Carlito, maybe Petroni. Petroni throws it out.
It
Oh, they locked it down. Kirall, flash away, has the stasis, heals available, but you can't get away from that Olaf. We talked about the importance of it. Finally, TSM find the carry, but did they extend too far? Titus goes down, and now SBTC with the engage of Julie. They just have too much damage. It doesn't matter that the Ezreal's gone. The rest of the team is that far ahead. They're diving between turrets right now, and TSM are struggling to get back to their base. The Herald's down. SBTC are making the push.
Look at how much distance Kirall put between him and the rest of TSM. It forced Teti to go right into the back line, but by the time this is happening, Akano with the huge monsoon saves his team, and Julie, one of the best mid laners in the tournament, finally shows up and is able to then come in, clear out that team with the Moonfall.
Julie has had 2 massive Moonfalls already in this game 1, and also had a very impressive performance against Tribe earlier in the week. So, I mean, TSM, they need to be reeling right now, thinking, okay, what went wrong in this game? And also, maybe we got to consider not leaving things like the Ezreal and the Diana up, because SBTC just looks so comfortable. But it all starts, actually, of all things, with Petroni engaging here, finding the perfect chain.
They were trying to find CC, but look at that. It's Arcane Shift, it's Flash Away, and look at the rest of his team. Yes, Netis finally finds this kill, but with TF on this new being so tanky, the absolute zero, and alongside that monsoon that we said, it sets up for these solo laners of SBTC to just completely take control of the fight. And they're so far ahead, they can play with their walls a little bit, they can dive turrets.
It's like, Kirall, I know you looked at that 28% damage so far for the team, but it's Yanero doing the damage this time. So picking the Ezreal almost doesn't even mean anything. He's just like the distraction. So Yanero can pop off right here as SBTC, even Julie pushing in on the bottom lane here. It's just Mikey who cannot handle a Diana at this point in the game. SBTC, they're 11K up. It's just a cakewalk to close out this game. I mean, Baron's on the table. TSM, they're going to have to find a desperation play after desperation play to come back. And they're into a death rush. SBTC, they set it up and they catch TSM, but a nice engage coming in from Carlito. Maybe TSM can turn it. They have a nice front to back, but Julie on the back line. Flashes are used. TSM, they're trying to get around, and they actually pick up the first kill of the fight. They're going to trade up. That's a 2 for 2 right there. TSM, you'll take that, but maybe Kirall can find more. Very low health bars for TSM. They will have to disengage.
Julie not being there means that they're going to lack damage. It's going to take a pretty long time for them to chew through the high HP bars of TSM. And when you take an even trade like that, that is a winning position for TSM. Now, when you look at this, they're going to get the Dragon, and then they're going to be able to redeploy, and it's going to be so important for TSM to set up vision for Baron.
Man, Carlito, they didn't want to engage on the Alistar because they know that they're not going to kill the cow, but they see everybody else. But then they just allow Carlito to reposition here. And I think Carlito's the thing that saves this fight for TSM.
It's pretty massive, right? We're talking about how big Carlito has been in his team's success. We're looking at the Galio for this guy. He's just been fantastic on a couple of these engaged champions. I'm looking forward to see what we can get. And again, they kept Kirol out of the fight. They had Akado trying to play like bodyguard against Sunny, who's in the backline with this Rivet. It's kind of annoying to deal with, yes, but again, this is SBTC still in the lead, still in control of this game. And look at this, TSM, they know, move into river, get vision, and just try to stop SBTC from starting up the Baron.
Yeah, that Baron's still on the table, and you know that SBTC are prepping. How do we set this up? Right now it's Julie pushing in the bottom lane. Looking for a reset as well, and now Sunny will have to answer that one. TSM, they don't have a single teleport picked up on their team. This was the team that we knew would take teleports proactively and try and use them, but now they're going to have to find ways to contest this Baron without any teleports.
Super strange. I mean,
Yeah.
so one thing, you know, kind of a little bit off topic, I will admit.
Okay, let's go.
Mikey, take a look at this build, everybody. This is coming in from the Wild Tour. They were known for doing some different stuff when it came to builds, also some different things. He has a Fimbulwinter, which is definitely strange. We would have thought we would have seen maybe a Saras, which would have helped with shielding and being able to survive, but he actually ended up going for this kind of build now. We'll see the validity of it. I personally would have loved to have seen a Seraphs, but Mikey still showing off that Brazil flair in some of the builds.
Still showing off the champ pool as well. Again, you know, 8th unique champion out of 9 games here. That's crazy, but very far up here. The rest of TSM are joining in. Sunny's trying to lock him down in the 1v1 right now. Redemption used. Mikey's here, but the rest of SBTC have rotation as well. Everybody except for Yanero, and now they're just going to go for the fight here. TSM, they have a numbers advantage. They're going to have to do something here quick. Carlito goes in, but the rest of the team goes out, and Yanero's just taking a turret for free because of this. TSM did not commit to the fight, and they lose an inhibitor turret for it.
SBTC, they keep them enticed so that their top laner can just push in for an inhibitor. And look at this now. They're going to go attack for this Baron.
This look for SBTC, the team that has not been living up to expectations, but now surging here in the group stage. Baron's down half health, and is Julie just going to take the 1v1? Julie 1v1 Sunny.
It's a steal.
Carlito goes for the engage. Steal does not come through. TSM, they're going to have to fight their way out of this one now because they're in the pit. They've committed to the fight. Tetis has the Lulu ultimate. We'll get one back, but now over the wall, Kirill's chasing down the rest of TSM with the double kill. Get the triple kill. Do you go for the quadra to set up? Julie might just end the game before we even get there, but says no. I'll give it to him. I will not end the game. Give him the quadra kill. Mikey's denying it, but the Nexus will not be. And SBTC will take game 1 of the series.
Kirol already got a couple of quadra kills in their last series.
A, B, C, D 個別に別のスコア